settings. Oh well. Yeah. Need to refresh that, make sure that's working. Shoo-dee-doo-dee-doo. I don't even think I updated anything. No, Richmond. Start Richmond. Talladega. Talladega. Alright. So, you gotta get rid of that. Alright. So, good evening. Welcome, everybody, to the BNR Racing Network. Here for the Xfinity side of things here tonight. Talladega. Oh, wait. That would help if I go like this, too. There you go. Talladega. So, Super Speedway, alongside times Will. Good evening, Will.
Good evening, Brian.
Well, Super Speedway action. A phenomenal Talladega in Alabama. So, they did start a little bit late. There was a little confusion out on the track. Someone came in as a different thing, and that was that. But anyway, go ahead and give your thorough knowledge of Talladega, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, someone accidentally came in as Choose Cool. Choose Cool. Anyway, yes, Talladega Super Speedway used to be known as Alabama Super Speedway. Built and completed in 1969. First race held in 69 as well. Won by a Daytona Charger. Dodge Daytona Charger. And then there was technically only a few actual Cup cars in that field. The rest are what was basically known as today Busch Grand National cars. Anyway, so long history here. Race car driver Tiny Lund was killed here in a crash on the back straightaway in 74, I believe. Anyway, so restrictor plates finally got put on the cars in 88 or 89. Bill Elliott's famous pole lap, and coming back from being a lap down, I believe that was in 87. So, yeah, just a very significant track. Some say it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground or whatnot, but, you know, who knows? It was a kind of an airport runway, World War I-ish days. A little bit after that, it was just an airfield. There is evidence of that, of basically, if you was to look at this on like a Google Images or Google Earth, basically the infield, you know, kind of still has that remnants of an airfield. But yeah, 2.66 miles, longest oval length track that NASCAR runs on. So last repave here was 2005, 2006, one of those 2 years. I want to say 05, and hasn't been, as far as I know, hasn't been repaved since. So pretty good, not really worn surface, but aged surface here at Talladega. Most winningest driver at Talladega, Dale Earnhardt. So,
oh yeah. So we'll go over the starting grid here. That was a fast qualifying. So P1 would be Jason Pearson. P2 would be Dave Barry. P3 would be Jackson Lomax. P4 would be Chris Schaefer. P5 would be Robert Amaro. P6 would be Philip Bridgman. P7 would be Matthew Montalvo. P8 would be Jacob Curter. P9 would be Matthew Huntsaker. P10 would be Richard Johns. P11 would be Josh Small. P12 would be Chris Berger. P13 would be Mark Berry. P14 would be Tyler Myers. P15 would be Eric Corder. P16 to be Aaron Bradford. P17 to be Kyle Gooden. P18 will be Joe Stipe. P19 to be Chris Campbell. Actually, it will not be Kyle, because Kyle's Coney, so that'll be that. So we're going to take a look at this pace car's nose here, for some odd reason. That's alright. That's the grid. Well, who would be your sleeper here tonight?
Well, out of the competitors here, sleeper, kind of difficult to pick, but gonna have to go probably with Robert Amal. He's really good at drafting tracks. If you know, Daytona, Talladega, if he can keep his nose clean, keep the car clean, got to be one to watch there towards the end of the race. If he is still in contention. Another one probably going to be Philip Bridgman. He's always out front most of the time whenever it comes to a place like this. So,
yes. All right. Well, I'm probably gonna go with, let's see here, either Carter, Richard. I don't know. It just really all depends, really. Ain't too many, that's for sure. Just like you said, too many good ones to choose from, and if anything, it probably, I don't know. That's why I hate picking on things like this, because you never know. Sometimes they can get caught up early on, and so. But 65 laps, and well, they told you how much fuel roughly they were getting, so
yeah, 28 to 32, I do believe, is the guesstimated fuel range here this evening on the fuel mileage. So, full tank of fuel with these competitors this evening. That's what we are looking to get. 28 to 32 laps. 28 going to be the hard charger ones. Probably the ones leading a pack or the race leaders out front, then the ones that are going to be able to save just a little bit more, going to be able to probably get to that 30 to 32 lap range, but that means that we're going to probably see at least, more than likely, 2 pit stops for fuel. Tires don't really mean a whole lot here. I would jump to speculate. It would be nice to have them, but doesn't necessarily mean you need them.
Oh, yeah.
Handling, not too big of an issue unless, you know, drafting, as far as side drafting and just kind of pinching your competitors to their lane, but get ready for the initial start here.
All right, there, the green flag is out. So as you see here, comfortably getting their sides together here. It's going to take some time to get used to trying to find your teammate and who you really want to work with throughout the whole thing. You're going to see a lot of bobble, a lot of weaving, and all that other janky stuff that's going to happen. So, oh, you see Philip with a blinky there. So, hopefully that doesn't get too bad.
You know, it's going to take at least 2 full laps for these cars to get fully up to speed. At least lap and a half, 2 laps.
So
more people at the moment on that bottom lane. What were you going to say, Brad?
I was going to say, unfortunately for Barry there, he's got to serve his penalty. I don't think Hunsaker did. Well, maybe. Just all depends, really, I guess. He might have. I don't remember. But you see Carter and Philip Bridgman jump to first and second here. So I'm guessing Jacob Carter is going to work with Philip Bridgman, since those two have worked with each other plenty of times. So
a 65 lap race here may not seem like a lot, but it's still a good enough distance. You know, like we said earlier, we suspect to see 2 pit stops for fuel. Don't think these competitors are going to be able to make it the distance on just 1 stop, so.
no.
It'd be really challenging if they do, that is for sure.
As you see there, they're starting to get that third lane going, Will. Never mind, they backed it down, so. Oh, there you go. The 41 of Bradford gets shuffled to the outside, but Richard Johns is going to pick up Bradford. Josh Small is going to stick with him, and Chris Campbell there. Never mind, Bradford jumps back down there, leaves Richard to the outside of there, so the Richard's going to try to fall back in line there. So.
Well, it's a bit early to be dicing up this much, but understandable. Sometimes it just needs to be that way. Some people need to just backpedal, get a better situation and better awareness, I guess you could say. It could be better if they're further back, just riding around, logging the laps instead of having a lot of pressure being up front and near the front of this pack. So, but everybody's still going to be a bit racy. That's okay, because you know that's what it is. After all, it is a race. So, some people trying not to work with others. We are seeing a bit evident of that at the moment, early going on here. But
as you see there, Dayberry gets caught in the middle wheel. Joe Stipe is going to go down there, pick him up, as Richard Johns is going to stick to the outside with, I do believe that is Schaefer and Berger. Then he's got Tyler Myers out there too with him as well. So, oh boy, all this scuffage going
Schaefer
on.
goes to the middle. McKenzie goes to the middle, thinking that lane is better, but
that is Pearson.
Pearson.
All right. Last week there was McKinney in there, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So
yeah, he's not here this evening, but they do run Napa cars.
So I do notice with a lot of these guys, they like to offset their nose a lot, which can sometimes be good and sometimes be bad, depending on who the driver is and who can take it. So,
yes, it's better to offset the nose or the right side of the car. You don't necessarily want to do it to the left side, but you do need to get some air to the opening of these cars to cool off the cars. You can't always stay cooped up directly behind somebody's back bumper the entire time, or else you will start to overheat eventually. So you got to really play it out and be careful in doing so, because you can kind of hook a guy by like just swiping across his back bumper. So you got to be careful.
Oh yeah.
Outside lane doesn't have enough drivers nor enough co-opetition to go forward here.
It's like they're stalled out, because they're starting to, 3 wide action right there between the 10, the 6, and the 77. I would say a little bit too early for that. Side drafting way too early here. It's only lap 8 of 65. But I guess if you want to get a run, that's the way to do it. So, So far, green, green, green. Multiple there.
Seeing that top lane, just not being able to develop into an actual lane of progress. Everybody on the bottom lane just content with riding where they are. Still really early going here in this race, so just gotta log those laps before the first pit stop, and then after that pit stop, I guess you could kind of race. Pit stop should equalize, and kind of we might get two different packs depending after the pit stop. So at the moment, we just got this one big pack of 16 cars here.
Oh yeah. Still trying to get comfortable. They're trying to find their comfortability with each other, figure out who can handle what, who can push better, and who they want to at least work with towards the end of the race, if they can rely on that person at the end. Hitting the pit stops, hitting it the right pace. Try not to get caught speeding is going to be the key. Coming in at high speeds and trying to get braking in time. I do believe pit road speed here is 55. So you figure from like 190 something to getting down to 55 real quick. Coming off the turn, you're going to want to be spread out a little bit. You don't want to be so bunched up and on top of each other. Communication, that's another thing. Super speedways, you want a lot of communication.
Yes, communication is very key, especially if you're going to be pitting with a small group of people or even just one other person. You don't want to run them over. You want to give each other enough space, like you said. Probably coming off of turn 4, averaging probably 188, 190-ish, maybe a little bit more, and trying to get slowed down for that pit road speed limit. Very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Then you also got to not speed after you were on pit road going to your pit stall, and then not driving through your pit stall. You make sure you hit it just right where you don't have to back up, and then by the time you leave your pit stall, you don't need to speed exiting the pits. So got a game of a lot of patience. You can see side by side for a handful of rows back, but that outside lane just doesn't have enough momentum, doesn't have enough cars, though, enough drivers out there with it.
But Philip Bridgman will hanging strong P1 with Jacob Carter behind him. Dave Berry on the outside lane with Berger behind him. So this is going to come down to needle and thread here. And so I believe we're going to see a lot tonight. Philip and Carter working with each other. Because those two have recently in the past, they're comfortable with each other. They know how to finesse around each other. So those two are going to be comfortable working with each other. So that's the two main ones to look out. Unfortunately for Barry, as in Dave, he's got three teammates behind him. So Barry's a sitting duck unless his brother can get up there magically some way or another. If they get an early caution, get back on the lead lap, Mark Barry will get back to that lead lap. So
I had no idea that Schaefer was teammates with Lomax and Berger, but I guess the color chrome numbers could have gave it away at some point. But
oh yeah. Two of them have SRM on there. The other one's got to get hooked. So, you see there, oh, that upset there with, oh, there they go.
Well, we had a log jam in that bottom lane. Looked like the 13 was giving a push to the 22, while the 22 was giving a push to Bridgman in the 7. And not sure if the 20 gave the 77 a push into the 13, or I think the 13 was just trying to avoid the checkup that was going on after what happened in front of him.
So now as we see here, Will, the 56 now got down in front of Philip Bridgman. So now he's going to have Philip to work with, because he knows, okay, well, those three guys are going to work with each other, so let me make friends here early on, so let me work with the 7, so let me come down and get working with Philip, and maybe he'll stick with me to the end. But sometimes Philip can work with you, then when it comes to that time, he can leave you out. I've been out there on track with Philip before, and he's done that quite a few times when we try to help him out. Like, if we're laps down, we'll try to help majority out, and then Phil's like, no, that's all right, you can go on your own. So that's the other thing to watch out with Phil. Carter, on the other hand, he'll work with anybody until he gets dumped, and then you ain't gonna have to worry about that. But Philip here getting to the back of the 56.
Yeah, I think what we saw a couple of laps ago was just Carter was already committed to pushing the leader on the bottom, the 7, and then the 13 of Pearson just came up and kind of gave him a shot. And when you're already connected pushing another car, that third person in line, that third car, just kind of needs to know their place and really just kind of ride behind the pusher that's already pushing somebody. You don't have to push them again necessarily, because if you do give that person a push that's already pushing somebody, that's just going to cause a lot of wackiness, I guess you could say, kind of like what we saw. We saw like a big log jam ensue, almost a wreck pretty much occur. So with basically just that heads-up driving that Robert did, that lost him a lot of ground, and just over 5 seconds, about 6 seconds on the field. I do believe he's lost the draft now, but if he probably wouldn't have ducked out of line when he did, he probably could have rear-ended the back of I keep wanting to call him McKenzie. The back of Pearson, and that would have probably sent Pearson up the track and into that high lane of cars that are on that outside lane. So pretty much wreck avoidance that we saw earlier. And again here we see Pearson just getting out of line, going to the back.
Because of that, he timed something right. He knew something was going to happen.
Oh, man. Chaos just ensued. Like you said, perfect timing, possibly for Pearson to avoid this cluster. And he skated by, at least the beginning portion of that. Gonna have to go up further, see
So it happened like
what
right about
happened here.
So as we ride on board with Schaefer, so you see the 3 on the outside, 3 in the middle. Oh, 96 closed the gap. Oh, 23 got to the quarter of the 56. Hooked the 56. Right up into that pack there. And that's what brings out the first caution of the night, Will.
Yes, first caution of the night here this evening. What is that? Lap 18?
Yes.
Oh, somebody did a barrel roll. I think that was Lomax that did the barrel roll.
I think so. So you see there, the leaders are coming down to the pits. Berger, Bridgman, Johns, Berry, Multiple, Myers, Carter, Quarter, Stipe, Pearson, Bradford, Lomax, Campbell, Small, Amaro, Schaefer. So Berry will get his lap back, and he'll be back on the lead lap. So now he can help his brother. So I saw pit road there. So yes, 18 laps. Got a first caution of the night. And that's what I'm talking about. Being a lot more aware of your surroundings. And then with these cars being so light as they are. So the way they have these cars is there's a lot of offset in these cars. To where it's never going to be, your wheel is never going to be straight. So with the offset, it's going to be off a little bit. So you see Coney comes out here, gets ready for these boys to come around and choose where they want to be. Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? I got a black screen. The heck? Oh, my racing got janky. Oh, there you go. Come back. Come on. Something happened. There we go. We're back. I was just spazzing out like normal. So, Berger will take it. Phillip goes to the outside. Unfortunately, we don't know who picked where. iRacing had a little hiccup in the end, but I see Phillip's probably going to be the only one to the outside, so. So Berger's going to lead this front here, and then the 20, and the 68 on the bottom. Oh, never mind. Phillip's got some company out there. There you go. Not too much, but quite a few.
Looks like Carter, Cordair, Myers on that high side. Maybe Robert Amal.
That's what it looks like.
So getting ready to end the first caution of the evening, coming out at lap 18. So everybody already did their choose rule. Pace car coming down to hopefully park on pit road. Restart zone, and the drivers will be green back in the air. Like we mentioned and talked about, Carter out there working with Bridgman. Those two, like we said, worked well in the past, and they're working again this evening.
Oh yeah. Oh, somebody's back there with no. See the burger's still out front. Then 20. Oh, here comes Phillip and Jacob Carter.
Yeah, that caution really helped Robert Amaro get back up, caught up with the field. So
Matt's got a different car today. And so far you see one big line on the bottom and a short line out there on top. Not too many out there on the top. Very less on the bottom here. So Phillip Bridgman looking to take the run on the outside. They just can't get quite clear of the 36 or 20. They're hanging strong with them on the outside. So, you see here a great onboard of the 36.
And I got a little bit of tandem racing going on directly up front. Rest of the field kind of just logging the time, biding the time. Mark Berry working back there with Cordair in the 79.
Oh, there he is. There's Mark. I was trying to figure out where he was. I know somebody back there didn't have a front face of the car. I wonder if that was Matt. No, Matt's, because Matt's back there. I wonder who that was. That might have been Richard. Probably trying to save the quick fix and
a long way to go still. Never know what you might get wrapped up in again, so maybe saving the quick fix might be the way to go, but also just might as well bite the bullet and go ahead and take it. But Carter trying ever so slightly to push Phillip out in front of the 36 at Berger, but seem like they have really good momentum, really good run down the straightaways, but they lose it when they funnel into the corner. Montague just really able to push Berger better in that bottom lane through the corner.
yeah, they just can't get that oomph to get by. Those two on the bottom. Double lanes going. Phillip still on the outside with Carter. Phillip and Jacob Carter trying to get that run to the outside. Now they got Carter up there. And Mark Berry getting a little bit closer. Oh, someone's up there in the wall, as we see here, getting ready to come into turns 1 and 2. They're going to stay high. They're going to let them go by. As you see, they're beating the wall down there.
I believe that was Schaefer.
I do believe so. Oh, Aaron Robbins is being the coach. Look at that. Anywho, oh, there you go. Phillip Bridgman and Jacob Carter will got by.
Yeah, Montague kind of lagged his, he kind of blinked going into turn 1, and Barbara Mall lifted. Robert probably not used to still at the moment, you know, transferring from console to iRacing, probably still not used to people blinking in front of him or around him. Basically, that is one of iRacing's traits, or like, hey, this person kind of lagging at the moment, he blinking. So Robert's still probably not used to that. He kind of lifted, and that is what gave those two cars on the outside that momentum to double down in front of Berger and Montague. But they really fought back. They're doing a crossover job at the moment, trying to fight back on the outside. Now that Bridgman and Carter have the lead on the bottom lane, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to venture up. We have Josh Malls and Chris Campbell up there trying to help out the 20 and 36 machine. So Cordair still up there on the top lane, can't find a hole to get down on the bottom, or else he'll probably would have already been there, but he's still committed to that top line.
Oh yeah. Well, as you see there, Richard Johns is in the pits, Will. He's making his, I do believe, final pit stop of the night. Maybe one more pit stop of the night. But Berger is still trying to fight back on the outside lane. And he can see the problems that Phillip and Carter were having about trying to get by on that bottom line there. I mean, on the outside lane. So it is very tough. If you ain't got the help, that's for sure.
Oh, Berger takes a last-second decision to go downstairs to the bottom lane.
That could have been ugly.
Could have been. Robert being that third car in line in the bottom lane, kind of giving the front to a break, and he's kind of letting too much space go in the bottom lane. That's what's giving that top lane such a big break to let one or two cars in downstairs, I guess you could say, as the pack is coming up again on Schaefer.
Rough night for Schaefer.
Yeah, that caution early on, well, about 18 laps into this race, really set back and hurt a handful of the competitors this evening.
Oh yeah. So Berger got risky for the biscuit to jump in front of Phillip. Phillip probably had to crack the throttle a little bit, Will, so he didn't get to the, actually when he came down, he wouldn't clip him. So he probably had to crack that throttle a little bit. But anyway, Will, just about 30 laps to go here. You see Berger
Berger straddled that apron. Almost got the car upset. Almost Earnhardted himself.
Oh, yeah.
Our Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson has done that at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But, yeah, that would have been bad, but he just had a real good push entering turn 1 by Bridgman. He was all over the back bumper of Berger and just trying to carry that through the turns can be quite a handful, as we just saw. So
is there no guard
at the moment at Berlin? No.
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Oh, Bush is leading me. Yes, he is. That's alright. Look at Johnny already. Look at him. Oh, they're fixing to move him out there in the grass. But anyway, back to the action over here on this side of things. Philip Bridgman still comfortable P2 with his teammate who was helping him all day this race. P3. And behind him is, Pearson getting his name into the mix here.
Coming up on the slow car of Lomax now. Everybody in this snakily line here on the bottom line finally. Everybody just fell in line. Nothing really could get going on the top. Now we see Pearson trying to make a move.
Is that Casey Kane? Wow. Berger, Bridgman, Carter, Montalvo. Tyler Myers got himself back up there to the top 5. Dave Barry, Jason Pearson, Eric Corder, Bradford, Campbell, your top 10, Will. Outside the top 10 is the other Barry who finally got his lap back, the last caution. Now trying to get his name known to come back to be in that top 10 to help his brother if he can.
Yeah, I think Dave still has a lot of damage from the incident earlier. So I think he's still trying to cope with that.
Yeah.
But still trying to be up here in the front of the field.
Harvick's racing again too. Huh. So Josh Smallwell getting back up there to the top 10. Also trying to get his name known. He's going to help the back of that 9 car. Oh, but I hate saying the 9 car. Let's just think of Casey Kane. There you go. That works. You see Barry back up to P5 with Josh Small behind him. But, well, how much momentum can they carry on that outside? Just the two of them.
Well, if Philip keeps full sending Berger into the corners, I don't think they're going to get there because that bottom lane is very strong. You got Carter down there, you got Bridgman. There's just so many strong cars down there that it's just going to be quite difficult to try to overtake them on that outside lane.
Right. So as you see here, Will, 25 laps to go. 25.
And we do guess at least another pit stop because where they pitted, everybody came down at lap 18, 19 when the caution came out. So, these drivers still need to pit one more time.
At least one more time. But the question is, when are you going to see these leaders drop down the bottom? And as you see here, that outside lane caught third place with just the four of them. So Bobby Lombardi. So my apologies. Mark Berry moves up to P3. Now moves up to P2, back to P3. He's going to go. Oh. As Phillip does a little blinkage there again. So far, so good here. Robert Amaro just doesn't know what lane he wants to go in. Now, when it comes time for pit stop, if you are caught on the outside, you better have full faith in those guys who are on the outside lane with you. Is going to work with you when you come into the pits and come out of the pits. So if you have one little slip up in that pits, they are not going to wait for you. I'll tell you that right now. That's how a lot of the officials went, and sometimes you just are going to have to bear with that. So
yeah, like we talked about communications earlier, very key getting on and off pit road. When do you pit? Very big question. And when should you pit? It is the same question pretty much. But, who do you go into the pits with? The people that you have been racing around all night, or a lot of other more questions to be asking. But you would almost think that the top four here would want to pit together. They seem to be running pretty well together, but it's kind of anyone's game or guess, really. Something happened to Phillip.
He's back. Oh, as you see there, that's how he got distorted. "21 laps to go here tonight. Only one caution.
Yes, one caution this evening came out just before the 20-lap mark at lap 18. Took out a couple of questionable competitors that you thought would be here towards the end of this race. Have contention, at least all throughout, but they got really racy early on, and just the product of that just unfortunately is what we're seeing here. Still good racing, still everybody what's left of the field, just a second and a half basically connects everybody from 1st to 13th, just under a second and a half. So
oh yeah, Phillip still pushing the 36. He's probably trying to preserve some fuel. He's probably allowing the 36 to burn up a lot of his fuel, so Phillip riding behind him could save an extra lap or fuel. So you see Phillip poking his nose out a little bit. Well, that's a signal, hey, I'm getting hot. Let me poke my nose out and pull that off. So now he'll get back in line behind the 36 and continue to push.
on board now with Berger looking at his teammate Lomax, who just out there gathering points for the day after being caught up in that lap 18 melee. And, just trying to survive, stick it out. That'll put him on the same lap as Richard Johns, so they could be battling for that 15th position.
Oh, yeah, you see Richard Johns going into the pits. You see Mark Berry and Josh, the only two lonesome cars on the outside lane. Everybody jumped down to the bottom.
I would not be surprised in a few laps, maybe a handful of laps, if we don't see some pit stops or attempt to make a pit stop, because like we said, it'd be cutting it close to try to make it on one stop, and especially when they pitted.
Yeah, that's cutting it like very close. I expect we're going to see one more caution, that's for sure. I mean, one more pit stop. Either one works. Caution or pit stop, either one. Speaking of it, there they go.
Oh, yep.
There's that disjointed into the pits.
Everybody from the bottom lane. I think that is everybody from the bottom lane. Dave Barry. Oh, Dave Barry turns the 22 on pit road. The 22 is going to get into Montague, so, oh my goodness. Really, the only ones that had a safe entry really was the 7 and 36 machines. Everybody else was having to roll up, check up, and evasive maneuvering to not get into the spinning and sliding 22 and 20 machines. Looks like Berger is going to come out first out of everybody that pitted here off of the bottom lane of the track, that bottom line of cars. And here comes the top line stragglers. Mark Berry, Josh Small, and Christopher Campbell. Berger out with a big lead, about 8 car lengths or so over Philip Bridgman when they exited the pits. He might want to do some bicycling, some backpedaling, maybe let Bridgman get up there to him so they can get connected and settle it amongst themselves if they can, because there's more separation, a little bit more further back.
They are all separated, all of them.
Yes. A lot of damage that you could see by the 22 as that damage he sustained Barry got into him, and then he got into the 20. So
the good news is, Will, Josh Small, the Barry, and
Mark is just now.
They're all going to come out like right there with them, so they will be able to sniff the draft and get going again. So lucky for them, they timed their pit strategy right. Well, besides that scuffle that they had coming into the pits, as we get a huge checkup by the 41 of Bradford, which could have been bad for Tyler Myers. You see Josh Small dunking down. Something happened to Josh.
Does Josh have a penalty from the previous pit road entry? Maybe he sped on pit exit. Something occurred to bring that Pennzoil machine back down pit road.
Very
we suspect to be a... Yeah, so unfortunate. Josh was running a good stand-up top 10 day, and that's really going to drop him possibly more than likely outside the top 10, and that top 10 run just probably going to go away now. But, what is it, 13 laps left? So along.
Next time by will be 13, yes, sir.
The stream finally pretty much got on the same lap. Hallelujah. So, everybody working their way. Yes, it does. It truly does. Can't fault modern technology, though. It is what it is.
So
this big battle group back here, they really need to get in line. And if they want to do anything to chase down Burger somehow has over 2.5 seconds on second place. This big group back here, but they slowly Burger. Maybe Philip, hey, I can't catch him on my own, or not going to be able to draw him in. I somehow lost the draft. I don't think it's 6/10 you really have the draft in iRacing. It's probably more about 5 or 6/10, or 4 to 5 6/10. You kind of don't have it.
Yeah, I think it's 6/10, and you don't.
So,
as long as you hover around that 5/10 mark, then you got it. But anything after that, you just, adios.
Bridgman pushes Pearson past Berger, and Berger's going to get swallowed up here by this mad pack of cars. 41. Who is that with Aaron? I couldn't tell.
Barry, Hunsaker, and someone else was off pace there. So that's Mark Berry.
So Berger doesn't get by the pack. He gets to get stabilized, and Bridgman goes for a move on the bottom. Nobody there at the moment to help him. Then he finally gets some help, but Berger thought he was clear. Pearson came down the track, brought the momentum that Bridgman was going to have from the bottom lane.
That's Carter way back there.
Yep. Jacob's probably going to lose the draft now, unfortunately. After having a really strong run all day. 2 laps remaining here. Oh, running that bottom lane tight. And Myers says, get up there.
Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much, without having excessive force. So.
Oh! There they go!
Yes, just like that. Barry gave a good bad shot to Berger. Oh man, that's a hard hit for Montague in the 20 machine. Caution out here for the second time of running.
I hope Matt can get that, because then that doesn't put Matt back on a lead lap. If Matt got caught in that, then unfortunately... That's very unfortunate.
Just looked like a bump got awry in wheel time, it looks like, by Mark. Mark just too much of that offset, like we were talking about. You know how you want to try to get nose or air to the nose of your car. Just a bit too much offset with the right side. Normally it's okay to do a lot of right side offset as far as just letting the nose of the car breathe, but exactly what we were talking about as well, how easy it is to just kind of glide your bumper across somebody and kind of just spin them out like that in these Xfinity cars. Chris Campbell taking a wild ride.
Unfortunately for Matt, Matt got involved in that, so Matt will not get the lucky dog. So Dave Barry will get put back on the lead lap. as all the lead lap cars come down to, well, not all of them, just the ones who got nicked and crannied there.
I don't really think anybody truly did anything wrong in this incident. Just one of them Talladega racing deals, really. You're trying your best to push the person in front of you, and just one of them racing deals, I guess. I wouldn't know what else really to call it.
Exactly.
Just one of them Talladega deals.
To talk to JP real quick since he is our current leader. JP, this is Brian. You got a copy?
10-4.
What is going on, sir? You are currently sitting as the leader here. How is that car handling? How is it being caught middle pack? Is it very loose when you're behind other cars compared to being out front? And what's going to be your plan here to hold off second and third place?
The car feels great. We set it on the pole for the start, and I just wanted to drift back in the back, stay away from the trouble early in the race. Now we're here at the end. But it does feel kind of a little twitchy. But I think that's more driver than car in the middle of the pack. It does drive flawless up here in the front, let me tell you. It just acts like it has a mind of its own, especially when it gets up here in the front. But I think we're going to have a good restart here. Trying to pull away from the field and restart and see I won't get no big run. Hopefully we can manage to keep it here to the checkered cross.
Hopefully, console side of things, you were great on super speedways. I'm sure you remember Delta Rocket.
Yes, sir.
Which is Robert Amaro here, P6, so you two are very familiarized with each other. But Will, you got anything for JP before we send him back up?
Well, Jason, just good luck to you. Hopefully you can keep it out front. Like I said, best of luck to you, Jason.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
No problem, sir. So that is that. You hear it? He said he's going to try everything he can to... as they choose here. And there you go. Everybody chose. Well, we are coming with 6 to go here.
Looks like we're going to have 10 cars on the lead lap from everything I can tell. So,
It's starting to rain there.
got a handful where Berlin.
Yeah,
Oh, that's sad.
that's very sad.
Just a few one lap down, like you said, Hunsaker caught up in that incident. Guess does not get lap back, so that's just gonna hurt a little bit more. Past couple of weeks, Matthew looked like could have had a car to win at the short tracks, and just mistakes kind of fell to the wayside there. So that's going to add a little bit more salt to those wounds, not being able to get the lap back, finish on the lead lap here this evening. But, you know, we still have a few laps to run, so might have a few more cautions, never can tell. As long as there are cars running on the track. Oh, there goes Kyle. You will more than likely have some type of incident occur, but slowly but steadily, we are pulling into the restart zone here. Jay Pearson inside, going to have a push, we suspect, from Tyler Myers. Mark Berry is going to be behind the 7. What type of push can Mark give to Phillip? Unless they just choose to try to get in line in the bottom. So 6 laps to go here this evening in the BNR Xfinity Series.
Oh yeah.
Nothing to go with on the outside lane. Philip Bridgman just kind of hung out like a sheet to dry.
Pretty much.
Bradford downstairs pushing the back of Tyler Myers. Then you have Robert Amal down there sitting in 4th position on the inside lane. But Philip's going to try everything he can, all the side drafting technique as possible, as he waits for Jacob Carter to give Mark Berry a push back up to him. Mark's got a lot of damage. Don't know how well that car can be either being pushed or helping either way. Pearson still the race leader.
Yes, he is. As we come here, side by side with Will. Will. With Phil and Bradford.
Both of the Berries missing the end platelet, the tail section of their car, the rear bumper clip.
Yeah.
So, really, really tight, close racing there with Mark, Robert Amal, and Jacob Carter. So 4 laps remaining. Big push coming from the 6 to the 13. Tyler Myers trying to work his best to push Pearson out there to where maybe Tyler can get a comfortable cushion to make a move on the 13.
Bradford still pushing the back of that 6. That outside lane just stalling ever so slightly. But that 3rd place is going to determine on the 7 or the 41. You see Carter up there to the outside. Josh Small coming into the picture here.
Yeah, Josh got a nose under the Carter coming onto the back straightaway. So Carter went all the way up.
That now leaves Phillip out there struggling by himself. Coming to the line to get 2 to go. This time by.
Yes, 2 laps remaining in this race. Still have time to get at least one more caution out of these guys here this evening, but what's going to happen? Bradford looking for a move up top, but he comes back down low. Robert Amal going up top now. Lap and a half remaining. Mark Berry trying to get to the back of Robert Amal. Gives him a push.
Oh, there's the whole back field, Will. Wow. As we said, the shot that's gone wrong, that little bump shot that went wrong, and it happened to hit Robert Amal.
Yeah, sometimes giving a push directly entering the corner, like we saw, just mistiming. Trying to do everything you can to give that push to your competitor to help out can just sometimes be very, very wrong and deadly. Mistiming of circumstances. Yep.
So Josh, somebody's upside down.
Yeah, that's Mark.
Mark. A wild Mark.
Mark Berry.
Well, this is going to shake things up here, that is for sure. They are going to take another restart, Will. 3 shots.
Question would be,
Go ahead.
who would be left? Is it just going to be the front 3 here that's left in this, or who will be?
And I think Josh Small got through it. So Josh is good. I think Matt got caught in that, so I'm not sure if Matt's going to get the lucky dog. Actually, Eric Cordero might be able to get lucky dog too as well. Oof.
Well, Josh was a lap down. I kind of forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So Josh gets it. So Josh is back on the lead lap. Oh. Yeah, that's a shame. And it's raining at the track. So Josh Small will be back on the lead lap, and will be able to pit, get some four fresh good years, hope for the best, and send it. So with the choose rule, that kind of does help him out a bit. If everybody goes to the bottom, he can gain all the positions, on the outside. Coney, driven by our own Kyle Gooden. Much appreciated by Kyle. But you see here, there are still all pitting there. All those damaged vehicles. You see they're coming out of the pits. Says we're right on board with JP, as he will be the first driver to choose here on Coney. As you see them coming back there. Let's see who chooses what lane here. I know JP's going to choose the bottom. Oh, everybody's on the bottom. Oof. If I'm Josh, I'm going to the outside. Oh, Coney peels off. Oof. Campbell is the only one to the outside there. Will, this is going to shake things up for Chris. You see there? Coney comes by and says, "See you later." Boy, that thing's got some speed, don't it?
Yeah, they really do.
If I'm Josh, you better pick speed up and get caught to the back of that pack. That's for sure. Because once you lose the draft, that's it. Now he still has some help on the outside as the pace car is going to pull off here, Will. As
Pearson leading them back into the restart zone. Green flag waving. What type of run will Bradford and Myers try to develop? Got Carter there behind Bradford.
as you see there,
Immediately, Aaron ducked out, thought the run was going. They're not going nowhere. So everybody in this single file line at the moment that to determine this race.
but watch out, here comes that 28, Will. Trying to get that run going to the outside. Josh Small is out there. Phillip is the sitting duck in the back there. Unless he can magically get some help here. Is Bradford going to pull out of line?
White flag in the air. Final lap of racing here in the BNR Xfinity Series of this Talladega evening. So Josh definitely has some moves going out there, but has to have going anywhere. So Bradford now pulls out. Going to have a little bit of help from Josh Small. So a little bit of tamper down that. Pearson kind of setting alone. Long way to go from turn 4 to the stripe.
As Josh lays it to Bradford, is it going to be enough? Oh,
Bradford looking for the quarter panel.
Oh, Bradford got it. Well done, Bradford and Josh. Well done. Good win. That was a great finish, Will.
Yes, big congratulations to Bradford there. Aaron Bradford in the 41.
I don't like how we switched our cameras, though. So let's go back and watch that checker flag last move, Will. Get a better view from it here. I'll try to at least somewhere.
You can see Tyler Myers really laid off. And Pearson up there, no help at all. And Smalls giving everything he could give to the back of Bradford.
And that right there closed the deal. So that separation will help Bradford and Josh get back up to the lead there. You see the teammates burning it down. Or Bradford burning it down there. Great run by everybody tonight, Will. That was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, that's for sure. The bear sign, Yannick and the dog boy. Huh. You see the two teammates burning it down there of Josh and Bradford. But I want to see if we can talk to the P3 finisher, JP. JP, it's Will and Brian. You got a copy?
10-4 about it, 10-4.
Well, what an exciting race there at the end. A solid run tonight by you. Absolutely in that number 13 Napa car.
Napa Chevrolet.
That's right. Why don't you go ahead and give an overall thoughts of the race, how your car was overall, and just the overall racing in general tonight, and what did you think that you probably could have done a little bit different coming towards the end?
The car was flawless the whole race. I probably could have stayed up front the whole race, but I was getting a little too nervous. Everybody was just bobbing and weaving there at the beginning, so I just wanted to drop back, just clock some laps to the end. There at the end, Tyler was doing everything he could to push me in. I think he just had a little bit too much damage, especially from the car. It was pushing him. AP was pushing him, and whenever he went to the outside line. That was all the help he had, and the damage to his car really showed. He could make it to my bumper no more, and I didn't have that extra push. I was wanting to try to throw a high side block there on AB when it was coming to the checker, man, but I didn't want to risk it on taking all of us out, having a huge crash, trying to make it to the line. I'm happy with third place, and congrats to AB. Awesome job on the run, buddy. Awesome job.
Yes, sir. Well, you got anything for JP?
Not just a big, congratulations, able to pull off the final step of the podium there in third. Maybe if he had that a little bit extra help, like you said, you probably could have sealed the deal and got the win here this evening. But just unfortunately, just out of all the incidents that have taken place throughout the race, slowly but surely, that kind of eked away like a race of attrition. This kind of came out to be here this evening, but nevertheless walked away with a good run. Just like you said, you wanted to log some laps. You were trying to just ride for a good while, and like you said, walked away with a good finish. Just big congratulations to you there, Jason.
Thank you, and give a shout out to Tyler. Appreciate all the help there at the end, buddy.
Yes, sir. Next week, y'all will be heading to Dover. So if you're going to be here next week for that, what would be your strategy going into Dover?
Same thing I was here tonight. Just try to start towards the front and try to keep it there at Dover. I mean, track position's everything.
Yes, sir. Well, hell yeah, man. Awesome job. It was awesome to see you out here. Unfortunately, I'm not here next week. I'll be in New Jersey, so I wish you the best of luck. A hell of a great job tonight. So carry this momentum into next week, and maybe you can finish out on top.
Yes, sir. Thank you for BNR for giving me the opportunity to run tonight. Thank you, fellas.
No problem. We enjoy having you here because you do a hell of a job. So we'd like to see you a lot more, that's for sure.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Next up on the board, Josh Small. Taking the Josh in here. Josh Small.
Hey, what's happening?
You did it.
Yeah, I finally pushed a teammate to the win. Yeah, I wanted to steal it from him, but I actually fought my butt off, so I'd settle for P2.
Well,
and I got my cheering section going on behind me.
I hear that. But P2, nothing less, from coming back from being a lap down, and I was talking to Will, I'm like, well, I don't know. Did Hunsaker get some contact in there? Did Cordair get contact? Because if that's the case, then it goes to Josh. But
it's funny because whenever we did the pit stop, I was following my other teammate Campbell there, and I merged when he merged. But I think when I was coming off the apron around the corner in 1 or 2 there, I felt the car do a little wiggle. So I lifted, and I think it just I think I hit the double yellow line there on exit. But when the caution happened, I lifted, slid the tires probably about 15, 20 feet. So I dropped a gear and was able to get the car down to the bottom, and then just when I got to third, I just kept it third and prayed to God them cars stayed up high because they were coming down, but I was able to carry some speed and get through there. And Hunsaker keyed up on the comms and was like, "Man, I made contact," and I was like, "Uh-oh, that's not good." And then when it alerted me that I was the candidate, I was like, "Oh, I just got so freaking lucky," because I was actually bummed because I was like, "Man, I've been working my butt off just trying to stay out of harm's way and just make it to the 5 or 10 to go mark, so that way I can push either my teammates or have them push me wherever we were at when that time came, and we can make a move." Well, it actually worked out to where I was in the back. I was one of the cleanest cars in the field, and Bradford was sitting. He was sitting good. He was almost guaranteed a podium. So when I started at the end of the pack, I had Richard in front of me because I was lucky dog, so I was at the edge of the field. I was able to get a decent jump, get up to speed. I hit fourth gear, and I had too much momentum to actually try to push Richard to close the gap. So I took the run outside, was able to pass Richard, catch the back of the pack, and we had a couple lap cars that were damaged, so I was able to go make the pass on the outside and go 3 wide, pass for a position, which call it the top 4. And as I was coming down to get in line to work on the run to try to make the last lap pass, or going into the last lap to try to at least take the lead, so that way I can try to set up another pass going into 3 to 4 on a final lap. Bradford dipped out, and when Bradford dipped out, he had a damaged car running P2, which I do believe was Tyler. So I was like, if I can just keep him up to speed, because Bradford was also damaged too. So it's like, if I can keep him up to speed, I only bumped him twice, which was really awesome. And I was able to actually hook to his bumper coming off a 4 on the final lap, and I was able to get pretty good momentum to push him to the win. I wanted to go 3 wide in the middle, but I know if I'd have done that, I was going to get hooked either from the bottom or I was going to hook him. So I just settled for P2, take a good points day, and SHR for a 1-2 finish there, which is really cool. It's exciting to push your teammate to the win there. He's been fighting his butt off, trying to get good finishes. So he's got a well-deserved win, and I hope he enjoys the night, man. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you worked back, like I said before, from being a lap down. But next week I am not here. Fortunately, going to New Jersey, so I'll be out of town. But what's going to be your strategy going into next week at Dover?
At Dover, keep it out of the turn 2 fence, and just try to run decent laps. The fastest car never wins at Dover. I know we have raced there in the past, and a couple of the fast guys have won, but that's because the whole field was freaking tore up. But I believe if we can run consistent laps there, I can be either top 5 or top 10 car. But I do predict a pretty big field next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Well, you got anything for Josh?
Well, just a big congratulations to you, Josh. P2, almost like you said, got the win, but you don't want to chance it or make life too big of a deal there towards the end. Big congratulations, though. Good to see you, finish strong after running where you were for the biggest majority of the race there. And like I said, did you get a penalty, or I think it was the first round of pit stops, or not the first round, but the that one green flag still pit stops?
The second green flag, yeah, I had a I had a freaking stop and go. I thought it was gonna be an illegal pit exit because I thought I was speeding because I saw it flash 56 for a split second. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get it for the speeding because I was able to.
You got it like you said.
I think I was coming around the corner on the apron there where the double yellow line is, and the car slides up a little bit, and I think I kind of hit it
for an unsafe merge.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, "Oh,
you spoke about that earlier." Okay,
yeah, but
that's what you were alluding to.
Oh yeah, I bounced back. So I mean, P2, man, definitely. I'm definitely content with that. Like I said, I wanted to. Any other time, I know with Richard in the past, I've always stole wins from him going 3 wide. I'd love the drag racing coming out of 4 and going through the tri-oval. And in that last second door slap right before you cross the line, in case you do wreck each other, you still have a chance to finish 1-2. But Bradford, he's been putting in a lot of wheel time. He's been practicing, trying different strategies, and like I said, it's a well-deserved win for him. So I'm glad to finish a P2. Pushing him to the win or helping him win. Because I really wasn't able to hook up with him. I stayed behind Campbell most of the time. And, I've been telling the guys, hey, I'm going high to let them work together too instead of us being in a certain order. Because we all got to be able to work with one another at any given point in time in the race. So I was trying to create scenarios in the race so that when we were separated, which I do believe for about 15 laps, I ran with Mark Berry, and me and Mark Berry alone were going to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back, just on the outside line. Right. So what I was doing, I was trying to create the teammates a big chance to work together to stay in that bottom line, because everybody's going to protect the bottom line here. Everybody. Unless you have it. If that bottom line would have moved to the outside line, I'd have been stuck in the back. I'd have been forced to run the bottom, and everybody knows I can't run the bottom, but maybe a handful of laps, and then I start bobbing and weaving because I'm hitting the apron. I'm over driving the corners. But I was trying to run the outside the most to try to keep the momentum up. And me and Mark Berry were doing good, but that green flag pit stop, it bummed us out, because it was me, Mark Berry, Chris Campbell, and I think one other car that pitted. And it was a great strategy. If we all could have come out and got linked up, we'd have been holding great track position. But unfortunately, I made a little boo-boo, and that's racing, man. It happens, and I had to knuckle up and fight back. We got lucky and got 2 cautions, and that's how I was able to get my lap back and race for a P2 there, and it was a lot of fun. This is by far one of the best Talladega races I've raced, and it's because I didn't win. I don't know how else to say it. It was just, it's a great team win, I'll tell you that. But it was just a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Well, indeed. Any shout-outs or anything you want to give? And then we'll get you on your way.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for putting everything on, and Will for the commentary with you up there in the booth. We all love it, especially when he calls us out. It's a lot of fun. Roy's RV, on the side here, Schaefer's Racing Oil and Lubricants there, and the fellas for putting on a great show.
Yes, sir, Josh. Well done indeed. We're gonna go ahead and talk to old Bradford there. We're gonna give him. We're gonna give him a little hoot and holler, huh?
There you go. Can't wait to hear this.
Oh boy, it'd be wonderful, won't it?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. We'll chat in a few.
All right, bud.
Last but not least, it's about dang Tom, Mr. AB.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, I'm going to let you take this one away. You go ahead and ask your questions to old Bradford.
Well, Aaron, pretty overall exciting race this evening at Talladega.
Yeah.
You sure did. You were just about everywhere this evening, and why don't you just tell us about how your night went?
To be honest with you, I thought my night was done on that first caution. Getting caught up in that, I was like, yep, I think this is it. I don't think I'm going to be able to recover from this. But, didn't have much damage, and I just kind of rode around mid-pack in the back and did my thing. And, that last pit stop, I decided not to take tires. I just took fuel. So that had a lot to do with it. So, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. My plan was to just ride behind Tyler. I was just going to, take the top 3, and I happened to look in my mirror and saw my teammate behind me, and it was like, all right, we're doing this. Let's go.
So basically, whenever you saw Josh, pouncing like he did on that restart, and he was pretty much a undamaged car to help pretty much once he got there, were you thinking, oh no, is he going to come out and try to pass me, or were you just more worried about just getting by Pearson there?
The thought never crossed my mind that would he try to come around me. I was really focused on what was happening in front of me, because JP threw a block there, and I was trying to avoid that. But afterwards he was like, I could have stole that, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad you didn't, though, man. I'm so glad you didn't. So that wasn't really a thought. I was just thinking, I got to get this win.
Next week is Dover. What are the challenges or the hurdles you may be facing come Dover?
Oh man, Dover. It's a good track. I like it. I have troubles in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 I can run really good, but I struggle in 3 and 4. So probably try to get some practice in and practice 3 and 4. But it should be a fun race. It's a great track. I like the track. It's a fast track for me, but it's just not much room to get around there.
Did you make that Coors Light paint scheme?
I did not. I actually found this on Trading Paints.
I was going to say, man, that's a cool concept car.
Yeah, I liked it too. I got tired of running the other one that I was running. I think was the Autodesk. I've raced it 4 or 5 races. It's time to switch it up. So I was looking on there and I found this one. I'm like, I like this, so we're going to run this. So it was kind of cool to get a win in this paint scheme. If you can't tell, man, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I can tell it in your voice. You're very, very excited, and I'm excited for you because you seem to always be, try to be a presence, in the top 5, top 10 if you can, and you always seem like you are always ever present. Sometimes you get, like you did this evening, you kind of got caught up in that early incident, but you powered your way through it. You said you didn't have a whole lot of damage. You had a little bit, but not a whole lot to really downplay the performance of the car. So, just big congratulations to you, Aaron. I know I'm happy to see you, with a win, because of just all the commitment and all the work you do putting in to iRacing and just trying to get better race by race, week by week. So
I've been on this platform for 2 years, and this is win number 1 right here.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna hold on to this one for a while. Still searching for that cup win though. I will get a cup win.
Yep, in due time. I do believe just just big patience game, really. Just
right,
like as if you're racing here all the time, or just got to be patient and let the races come to you. So,
exactly. Race the track. You just got to race that track.
Yep. So, any other shout-outs or anything you'd like to add about tonight's race there, Eric?
I want to give a shout out to my boy Josh there for pushing me to that win. He could have stole it, but he didn't. I really appreciate that. And one of the guys I got to shout out is Brian. Brian's taught me a lot over the last year or so, and he taught me how to get around Talladega and how to just ride around in the back holding time until the time to go. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think this win would happen tonight.
Always indeed, sir. Hell yeah, awesome job. You finally did it like I said. There's a little excitement on my end tonight when y'all cross the line there. So, this will be one that you'll never forget. And, the only thing I can say is hang your head on this one loud and proud. But like I said, unfortunately, I am not here next week, so there will be no cup race next week either as well. So, but I do believe y'all will be racing on Tuesday and Thursday, so y'all be at Dover. So, best of luck to you. I wish you the best of luck next week, and then we'll chit-chat in a few.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Everything y'all do up here.
Thank you. All right, well, if you want to close her out, go ahead.
Well, me, myself, Will Roberts, Brian Hunt, I'd like to thank each and every one of you to come out and, whether it's silently cheering on your favorite BNR driver or even, when you do chat with us, when we do see it, cheer them on. We appreciate every and watching the BNR series of races tonight, the Xfinity Series here at Talladega. And, hopefully Brian and his family have a safe trip to and from New Jersey and get their, everybody back home in a week and a half, 2 weeks or so, Brian. So hopefully safe travels. But
Yes, sir.
until then, we wish everybody a good night and